Hello, and welcome back to All the Mods 10 to the Sky. Now that we have the Geor's automation going, we can do something about that, such as making vibranium and making crystaltine ingots. So yeah, let's take a look at how we can do that. So let's go to the machine platform. And you may notice a couple of new stuff on the machine platform. And raise this up just to have the compressing factor over here. Don't mind that. And we have this big chunky thing called it Ender Crafter, surrounded by all these other blocks called Ender Alternators. And why do we need that? Well, you need all these Ender Alternators in order to make the Ender Crafter go fast, which is like right inside there. Now, there are a couple of information that I'm not quite sure about with the Auto Ender Crafters, and we'll talk about that soon. So anyway, you also need something called an Elite Auto Crafting Table, and this is the automated version. And this is from the extended crafting thing, but both these are. And in order to make the vibranium, let's remind ourselves, you need to go through the Ender Crafter and put these shards around a crystaltine ingot. Now, the thing is, we already have the shards automated, so that's good. But the thing is, we need to get the crystaltine ingot. So how do you get that? Well, you need to go through the extended crafting, at least the elite crafting thing, right here. And you need a couple of diamonds, you need lapis, you need iron, you need gold, nether stars, and you can make the crystalline ingot. Now, we already have that, like right here, and we also have another one. They're easy to make. That's why I made a second one, just to, for example's sake, right there. And how do you make that? Let's take a look at the recipes here. Now, you need to make the normal one first, so that's the elite crafting table right there. And you just keep, going through the JEI menus and stuff like that. The elite components, well, it just takes the black iron slate and the luminescence. Black iron slate is made with black iron, which is combined with iron and black dye. And the luminescence is just glowstone, gunpowder, and redstone right there. And in order to make the advanced one, you just need gold instead of diamonds. So cool. And then you just keep going down and down and down until you get to the bare basics over here. So in order to make the basic one, you need the crafting table, block of iron, and a bit of iron right there. So cool. So after you make that particular table, you can then make the auto version, like right here. There's the elite auto crafting table. And how do you make that one? Well, you just need to surround the regular one with like redstone component, crystalline component, and a bit of black iron ingots. But of course, you need the crystalline ingots first, which you can get from the other normal, non-auto elite crafting table. So cool. So yeah, but how do you automate that? Well, let's go back to an ordinary machine over here. Let's say a furnace right there. And this is the basics of AE2 auto crafting. And we have an AE2 cable just extended out here and connected to a row of these pattern providers out to here. So let's use the furnace as an example here. If you want to smelt something, let's say coal, and actually, let's use a different example, shall we? What don't I have in here? Maybe some dust and iron or something? But I already have that. Let's see. Let me get like a furnace here. Okay, furnace, and now press U on it. Now, what could I use right now? How about stone recipe? Do I have a stone recipe? Yes, I do. Okay. And let me go in here and in here. Okay, let's see. Emeralds, okay. What is this? Smooth quartz block? Do I have that? Oh, I don't. Maybe I want a smooth quartz recipe in there. So let me see. Let me press U on this, and what do you get from that? Smooth quartz block? Okay, sure. So you go to your little pattern encoding thing, and you can very well put that on your wireless terminal if you want to. That's how I'm doing it. But you can very well go to your pattern access terminal, and then you can make a blank pattern. You can make a pattern, this particular recipe, with some blank patterns. So you have some blank patterns over here, and then you have a block of quartz over there. I'm going to press U. Well, I'm just going to clear that so it's not confusing. So I'm going to press U on the block of quartz here just to get the recipe out. So here's the recipe out. So I want to put block of quartz inside the furnace, and out comes the smooth quartz block. Okay, so I press the little plus button just to like populate the slots over here. You don't have to do it that way if you don't want to. You can very well drag this into here if you want to. And the smooth quartz, which is the result, if I can find it in here, smooth quartz block. If it's not already populated, then it's probably not the correct recipe, because once you put this over here, it should just pop up over here. So cool. If it doesn't, then if it's like a very special recipe, then maybe you should just drag it in there yourself. So this is a processing pattern, and you see by the second tab over here. So it's not a crafting pattern, because the crafting pattern does this: block of quartz into 4 nether quartz right there. You want the processing pattern because you want that in the furnace to make smooth quartz block. So we'll encode the pattern like that, we'll pull it out, and then we go to the pattern provider right here, and then you put it in, like so. Okay, and then you need to stick the furnace right onto the pattern provider. Any face would do, but of course you need a certain direction. Then you can totally do this if you want to. Just pointing into a machine like that. But if it's like that, then it can go on any side that has a machine on it. So I already have like 2 of these furnaces on it. So that means it can handle like 2 jobs at once or something. It can handle more smelting. So instead of having like 1 furnace, it can do double the job like that. Potentially. So yeah, that's the furnace right there. And why are you not taking it out? See, input, output, smooth silk, glass. Okay, well, let me see. Auto input. And sometimes these things get stuck for some reason. Okay, that's why. Smelting some silicon is not taking it out. Okay. I don't know. I heard there was a bug with the glass or something. All right. Maybe let that finish. Okay, you done now? Okay, great. All right. So anyway, let's go into our terminal here, and we'll find the smooth quartz block, which is right there. So you do that, and then let's make 10. And it just goes in the furnace right quick, and then it just gets placed back into the AE2 system. So let's make 100, and let's just quickly see if we can catch it. There we go. There it is. Smooth quartz block, and then gets pushed back into the pattern provider because you right click it, there's a return inventory. You can very well, pipe out of the pattern provider into a different machine or a set of machines, and then pipe the resulting thing back into the pattern provider, into the return inventory, and then it goes back into the AE2 system in storage. So that's how the basics of autocrafting with processing machines work. So anyway, let's go back to here, and we're basically doing the same thing over here. Well, similar thing. And we're dragging out a ME cable, like so, and there's a pattern provider, like right up here, right there. And there's our pattern for the crystaltine ingot. So we just like take out this pattern right now, and then we go to our pattern encoding terminal. Let's clear that. And we'll put that in the slot. It'll tell you what the recipe is, what the ingredients are, and etc., etc. So you can edit the encoding pattern right there, and then you can just save it, save the new recipe. You can edit this if you want to. So this one takes 8 diamond ingots, 10 lapis, 4 golden ingots, 4 iron ingots, and 2 nether stars. So it makes 4 of the crystaltine ingots. So you check out the recipe for the crystaltine ingot. That's exactly what this is. So right there. So it's going to push all those particular ingredients through this pattern provider into a connecting machine. And in this case, you can very well push those ingredients into a inventory of your choice, such as a netherite barrel, like this one. So it puts all the ingredients in here, if you want to do that. So I put this recipe back in here. Okay, so you have a pattern provider right here, and the recipe for the crystaltine ingot right there. And once you request the crystaltine ingots in your terminal to be crafted, it pushes all the ingredients inside this barrel over here. Now, it doesn't have to be a barrel. It could be any inventory that you want. It can be a chest. It can be a vanilla chest. It can even be a backpack if you want to do that, etc., etc. But I'm using a barrel right here. And it needs to be above the auto crafting table. I mean, you can very well pipe this in, I would imagine. And the table right here will pull all the ingredients out of the barrel and into the slots over here, populating the slots. And it'll craft the crystaltine ingot, and then I have an advanced hopper upgrade in this particular barrel, just pulling the crystaltine ingot out. And yeah, and then it pushes it pushes the crystaltine ingot back into the pattern provider that's attached to it, and back into the AE2 network through the return inventory right here. So yeah, that's how it goes. And I think that this thing can pull the ingredients by itself. I'm not sure about ejecting though, but the ender craft, the auto ender crafter doesn't do that, so I have to pull it out myself. So if it does, then you probably don't need the advanced hopping upgrade, and then you can just like not deal with this per se. And then you can just reconfigure this and then just push the crystaltine ingot back into there, and it'll be fine. It'll be absolutely fine. So yeah. All right. So I think that's about it for this elite auto crafting table. All right, so here's how you set up the recipe that you see over here, because there are a couple of safe slots that you can do over here. Now, I have this one, a second one, as an example. So I'm going to right-click it because I don't want to mess with that one because it's already working. Now, if I do this, crystaltine ingot, and I go to the plus button, I can't do that because I don't have the current items in here. That kind of sucks, So, what if I go ahead and do that manually and drag it up from JEI? Well, I pretty much can't do that either, which is unfortunate, really. Real unfortunate. So yeah, so that means I have to grab all the materials that I have on hand. Let's see, nether stars, gold, lapis, diamonds, iron. I think that's about it, right? Okay, so I right click the table, and then I go to the recipe here, and then I can press the plus button, and then it puts all the items in here, and then you can shift left click to save it to this particular slot right there. And once it's done crafting, well, you can basically just pick it back out, right? Oh no, interesting. Can I do? Oh, okay. It doesn't show up until you select it. All right, all right. That's how it works. Okay, so I have the materials inside my inventory. I go over here, press the plus button, and then I do left shift click, like so, in order to save it. And then I just take out all the ingredients because I don't want to craft it right now. And then I just left click it in order to like load it. Okay, all right. Well, I guess that's how it works. But if I pick it up, does it save it? Let me see. Oh, it does save it. Okay, that's super convenient. It does save the recipe right there. Okay, so once you place it down, just left click this in order to select that, and you're good. You're good. Just connect the power cable because it does require power, and it should start working. But the thing is, I'm wondering if this crafts. No, it wouldn't craft on its own, would it? Because let me see if you can use it as a normal table. Can I do this? Oh, I can use it as a normal table. Okay, all right, all right. That's fine too. That's fine too. That's a double feature right there. That's fantastic. All right, so there we have it. We can automate the crystaltine ingot like that. And let's go ahead and automate some things. Crystaltine. Okay. And then I'm going to make like, I don't know, 10. It puts all the ingredients inside the barrel and puts it into the auto table right here. Crafts it. And then puts it back into the barrel. And then the advanced hopper upgrade will put it back into the pattern provider like that. So cool. That's how it works. Real simple. Real simple. You can do whatever you want in order to automate it. If if you have a better way, just go ahead and use it if you want to do that. But I'm going to do it this way because, hey, it's simple, Very simple. And you know what? I can very well put like another table over here, and then I can put like another table on the line over there if I want to, and then just double the recipe over here. So yeah, that'll be convenient. So anyway, let's talk about the auto ender crafter right here, because this is what you need in order to make your vibranium right there. So again, here's the recipe for that. And you need to surround the crystaltine ingot with these particular shards right there. We already have the shards automated, so that's not a problem at all. And we just put the shards over here, and the crystaltine ingot in the middle, and you get a vibranium ingot. Now, how do we automate that? Well, you need to plunk down this massive thing over here, because it needs the alternators in order for it to go fast. And you need at least one in order for it to even go at all. So yeah, and we have this little thing, the auto ender crafter. Now, there are a couple of information that I'm not quite so sure about. Well, why does it need power? Because I tested this without power and it still works anyway. So I would imagine that if you power it, it might make it go faster, but it didn't. And I would imagine if I were to get rid of the ender alternators and just like, I don't know, power it, it would just, go without having to need the ender alternators. But that's not the case at all either. So I don't know what the power is for. So if you know, comment section below, let me know what the heck the power is for. So anyway, same thing with the the Elite Auto Crafting table. You can save the recipe, like right here. Do shift left click just to save it, and then left click just to load it in. And then you can save the recipe that way. So cool. But the thing is, you also need a inventory right above the damn thing. And you can't just like, let's say, use a modular router like I tried to use and just put it straight in there. You can't do that, as far as I know anyway. But who knows? Things change, and it might be different, like, I don't know, next month or maybe next update. So yeah, you gotta have an inventory, as of now anyway, and put it above the auto ender crafter, and use a modular router, put all the ingredients into a barrel or inventory of your choice above the auto ender crafter, and yeah, it just pulls the ingredients into itself, populates the whatever slots the shards go into and the ingot goes into. It crafts it, and then I have the router just pull it back out and back into the pattern provider right there. So neat. So the pattern provider pushes all the ingredients inside this little barrel over here. And let me check out this hopper here. Okay, cool. All right, so this pattern provider pushes all the ingredients inside this barrel. The modular router grabs all the ingredients. So this is a polar module right there. So I have it blacklisted as a vibranium ingot because we don't want the vibranium ingot getting pulled out before it gets back into the 82 network. So that's what the blacklist is for. But it pulls every other ingredient, and then it gets sent into the barrel over there. The standard 2 module takes all the ingredients, has a blacklist of vibranium ingot because we also don't want to send the vibranium ingot back into there because we want it back into the A2 network. That's why I have a blacklist on there. Is it needed? Probably not, but I'll just put it on there just to make sure. And then once we craft the vibranium ingot, this module will pull it out, and then this module will put it back up into the barrel right there. And then also have a hopper upgrade over here, right there, which pushes it back into the pattern provider and back into the A2 network. So that's how it works. So do you need to do it this way? No, you can do it wherever you want. Do it however you want, Use pipes, use a chest, use something else if you want to do that. But if you would like to do it this way, then cool. You can do it this way if you want to. Now, for the ender alternators, that's still a question mark, Like, I would imagine that if you power the auto ender crafter, then I wouldn't need the ender alternators. So I don't know if that's true or not. Like, let's do a test, shall we? Let me grab this one up, and then I'll go ahead and power it, like so. Okay, and then I'm going to get some materials out here. Get crystaltine, get my shards. Okay, get some of that, and then I go to the ender alternator, and then I go to vibranium and populate the stuff. And does it go? Does it go? It doesn't look like it's going, but I'm gonna save the recipe just in case. So there we go. Doesn't look like it's going, So let me just grab an ender alternator over here. Let me grab this one, and then I'll put it like right next to each other. There you go. And now it's going. Yeah, strange, isn't it? Very strange. So what the heck's the power for anyway? If I get rid of it, then it's obviously gonna stop. So cool. Let me grab this up, and then let me just put it somewhere else. Let me put it over here. And right now it's not power. It has no power whatsoever. I'm going to put the ender alternator like right next to it. And then I'm going to populate the fields here, the slots. And yeah, it still goes, You can use it as a regular ender crafting table if you want to do that. So you don't even need power in order for this to run. So that's a big question mark. What the heck's the power for then? So who knows? All right, and you put this one back. There we go. And you can make it look a little bit nicer, Just flip the alternators around, make it look like a flat wall on the sides. Make it look like not that bad looking, so cool. And then I can just fill in this hole over here if I want to, because, it's just missing like 6 of them over here. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm not too concerned about that. I want to be able to access that when I want to. Let's go to Vibranium. And then, I don't know, we'll make 10 of them. All right. I'll populate that stuff right there. It already moved the materials, so let's see it working. All right, there you go. Look at all these little purple particles. And just grabbing the vibranium, putting it back in the barrel and into the A2 system. So there we go. We got 10 right there. All right, cool. Awesome. So, all right. So that's how you automate the vibranium right there. That's one way to do it. You can, mix and match, like do a different way if you want to do that. And, but the thing is, you currently need the ender crafter in order to make the vibranium. So there's that. And you currently need the extended crafting table in order to make the crystaltine ingot. So cool. And for the shards, well, there's like many ways in order to do that now because, many different configurations in order to do that. You can use routers in order to mine up your shards. You can use your annihilation planes in order to do that. You can use a module, I already mentioned the router. You can use a just start things clicker in order to do that. So many different ways in order to get your shards. Of course, this episode about getting vibranium, so that's a thing. All right, so that's about it, really. So if you want to know how to get allmodium, you should definitely check out my other episode on how to get allmodium, unobtainium, and smithing templates for them. So cool. All right, so this has been another episode of All the Mods 10 to the Sky. I've been FunMoBlock, and I'll see you next time.